尊敬的卢卡斯副主席，很高兴同您举行视频会晤。副主席女士在学生时代就投身南非人民反种族隔离斗争，是非洲人国民大会资深的政治家。我谨向您表示敬意。您长期关心支持中南的关系发展，中方对此也表示赞赏。当前全球的新冠疫情防控形势，应该说依然严峻，但是中南人民加强对话、深化合作的愿望更加强烈。这次的视频会晤也正是中南双方全面战略伙伴关系的生动体现。我愿意同您就双边关系和其他共同关心的问题交换意见。
Honorable Deputy Chairperson, Ms. Lucas, I am very delighted to have this virtual meeting with you. You are a veteran stateswoman serving the ANC. I learned that you joined the anti-apartheid movement when you were a student. I wish to pay tribute to you. You have given strong, long-term care and support to the development of China-South Africa relations, which the Chinese side appreciates. Despite the grim COVID-19 situation across the world, the Chinese and South African people have ever stronger desire to enhance dialogue and cooperation. Our meeting today is a vivid example of the comprehensive strategic partnership between China and South Africa. I would like to exchange views with you on bilateral relations and other topics of shared interest.
下面我向您介绍一下中方的出席人员：张茂宇，全国政协的副秘书长。
I wish to first introduce the Chinese team. Mr. Zhang Maoyu, Deputy Secretary General of the CPPCC National Committee.
杨晓波，全国政协民族宗教委驻会的副主任。
Mr. Yang Xiaobo, Resident Deputy Director of Committee for Ethnic and Religious Affairs of the CPPCC National Committee.
胡小练，全国政协常委经济委员会的委员，全国政协中非友好小组成员，中国进出口银行的行长、董事长。
Ms. Hu Xiaolian, CPPCC member serving on the Committee on Economic Affairs, member of the China-Africa Friendship Group of the CPPCC, and chairwoman of the Export-Import Bank of China.
好，我们也请卢卡斯副主席讲话。
Honorable Deputy Chairperson, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairman. Good morning to you and your delegation. And once again, we also want to appreciate the opportunity to have this virtual engagement at this today, on the 11th of April. I am accompanied by one or two of the members, and then currently I am accompanied by the Honorable Dangor, the National Council of Provinces, and I'm also accompanied by a team of administrators. So today, as we have already said, South Africa and the Chinese people have got a long-standing engagement and a long-standing relationship that have been advanced on different levels, and particularly in our cooperation on multilateral basis, economic basis, but also on the fact that we have together lived through the COVID-19 pandemic. We have shared information, we have shared expertise, and through that, we have actually cemented the relationship that has been built over many years and in many aspects of our industry. So once again, let me appreciate the fact that we can meet today on this basis, which I believe that if at all it's possible, we will have more engagements of the same nature, physically and otherwise. Thank you.
尊敬的副主席先生，我想向您和中国代表团问好。我也非常高兴今天有机会能够同您会面。在南非呢，我也与我们这边代表呢，也有南非全国省级事务委员会的首席党编和豪登省的党编，也今天与我一同与会。那么我们两国人民呢，我们的友谊和关系是非常长久的。我们在双边以及多边的场合，在经济事务上以及其他的领域都开展了很好的合作，特别是面对新冠疫情，我们分享信息和专业知识，在这方面共同抗击疫情，也让我们进一步的加深了全方位的关系。在这样一个良好的关系的基础上，我非常感谢今天能够有机会同您会面，希望以后还有更多的机会可以举行类似的这种会面。
我们一直都在说呀，中南两国有着同志加兄弟的特殊友好关系。习近平总主席访问南非的时候，就曾经用中国的古语“治和者不以山海为远”，比喻两国人民跨越千山万水的深情友谊。最近这些年来，两国全面战略伙伴关系保持着强劲发展的势头。习近平主席同拉马福萨总统在不同的场合多次会晤，为中南关系发展提供了战略指引。前不久，两位领导人通电话，就新形势下加强中南合作达成一系列重要的共识。两国政治互信不断的加深，各领域的务实合作成果丰硕，人文交流日益密切，为维护多边主义和发展中国家的共同利益开展了富有成效的合作。
China and South Africa enjoy a special friendly relationship of comrades and brothers. President Xi Jinping, during his visit to South Africa, quoted an old Chinese saying that nothing, not even mountains and oceans, can separate people with shared goals and vision, which can describe the deep friendship between our two peoples despite geopolitical distance. In recent years, the China-South Africa Comprehensive Strategic Partnership has kept a strong momentum of development. President Xi Jinping and President Cyril Ramaphosa met on multiple occasions, providing strategic guidance to the development of bilateral relations between our two countries. Not long ago, our two presidents had a phone conversation and reached a host of consensus on strengthening China-South Africa relations under the new circumstances. Our two countries have seen deepening political trust, fruitful cooperation in all areas, and ever closer people-to-people exchanges. We have carried out productive cooperation in upholding multilateralism and the common interests of developing countries.
这次这个疫情发生以来呀，两国携手抗疫，共克时艰，为双边关系注入了新内涵和新动能。2021年，双边贸易额仍然达到了543.5亿美元，逆势增长50.7%，凸显了中南贸易关系的韧性和发展的潜力。中国连续13年保持南非最大贸易伙伴国的地位，南非连续12年成为中国在非洲的第一大贸易伙伴国。中方欢迎更多南非的优质产品对华出口，支持双方拓展新能源、电子商务等新兴领域的合作，鼓励中国企业赴南非开展投资合作，助力南非实现新投资倡议发展目标。中方始终从战略高度和长远角度看待中南的关系，愿意同南非一道努力，以落实两国领导人共识为指引，不断地提升双方各领域的合作水平，推动中南关系取得新的更大的发展，更好地造福两国人民。
Honorable Deputy Chair, our two countries have been working together to combat COVID-19, further enriching and providing fresh impetus to the bilateral relationship. In 2021, our two-way trade topped $54.35 billion, increasing by 50.7% year-on-year. This testifies to the resilience and potential of our economic and trade relations. China remains South Africa's largest trading partner in 13 consecutive years. South Africa has been China's largest trading partner in Africa for 12 years in a row. China welcomes more imports of high-quality products from South Africa, supports both sides in expanding cooperation in emerging fields such as new energy and e-commerce, and encourages Chinese enterprises to carry out investment cooperation in South Africa and to help South Africa achieve its goals of the New Development Initiative. China views its relations with South Africa from a strategic height and long-term perspective. We are ready to work with South Africa to implement the consensus reached by our two presidents, continue to upgrade our cooperation in all areas, and strive for new and even greater achievements in our relations to the benefit of our two peoples.
我们也都认为金砖国家是新兴市场和发展中国家联合自强的典范，是推进全球治理的关键力量。中南两国同为重要的发展中大国和新兴的市场国家，是金砖框架下的亲密伙伴，一直在不同场合密切沟通，相互配合。今年中国担任金砖国家主席国，我们将同其他金砖国家一道，围绕构建高质量的伙伴关系，共创全球发展新时代的主题，深化金砖合作，擦亮这块南南合作的金字招牌，为各国携手战胜疫情，推动世界经济复苏，传递希望和信心。那么明年呢？南非将担任主席国，中方愿意同南非密切合作，加强战略沟通，共同推动金砖机制保持发展的势头，为国际社会注入正能量。中方愿意同金砖各国共同努力，深化各领域的务实合作，构建更加全面、紧密、务实、包容的高质量伙伴关系。在实现五国自身发展的同时，推动全球发展迈向更强劲、绿色、健康的新时代。
Honorable Deputy Chairperson, BRICS countries have set a good example of emerging markets and developing countries seeking strength through unity. It is a key force for advancing global governance. China and South Africa, being important big developing countries and emerging economies and close partners under the BRICS framework, have kept close communication and coordination on various occasions. As the BRICS chair this year, China is ready to work with other four countries to deepen BRICS cooperation under the theme of Foster High-Quality BRICS Partnership, ushering a new era of global development, to burnish the credentials of South-South cooperation and bring hope and confidence for all countries to jointly defeat COVID-19 and promote world economic recovery. South Africa will take over as chair next year. China is ready to work closely with South Africa, strengthen strategic communication, keep the development momentum of the BRICS cooperation mechanism, and inject positive energy into the international community. China will work with all BRICS countries to deepen practical cooperation in various areas, build a high-quality partnership that is more comprehensive, closer, more pragmatic, and more inclusive, realize the development of the 5 member countries, and promote the more robust, greener, and sounder global development in the new era.
我们也都认为，发展同非洲国家的团结合作是中国对外政策的重要基石，也是中方长期坚定的战略选择。那么这次疫情发生以来啊，中非相互支持，守望相助，中非传统友谊进一步巩固，各领域的务实合作不断发展。去年的11月，习近平主席在中非合作论坛第8届部长会议开幕式上提出构建新时代的中非命运共同体的4点主张，总结中非友好合作精神，宣布中非务实合作一共有9项工程，包括向非洲再提供10亿剂疫苗等重大举措。这个呢，都受到了非方的热烈欢迎。中方愿意同南非共同努力，以全面落实中非合作论坛的成果为契机，推进中非在贸易投资、绿色发展、数字经济等领域进行合作，携手共建更加紧密的新时代中非命运共同体，并同国际合作伙伴一道，助力非洲早日战胜疫情，实现经济复苏和可持续发展。
Honorable Deputy Chair, to enhance unity and cooperation with African countries is an important cornerstone of China's foreign policy and China's long-term firm strategic choice. China and Africa have supported and helped each other in the fight against COVID-19. In this process, our traditional friendship has further cemented and practical cooperation in various fields has strengthened. At the opening ceremony of the 8th Ministerial Conference of FOCAC last November, President Xi Jinping made 4 proposals to build a China-Africa community with a shared future in the new era, summed up the spirit of China-Africa friendship and cooperation, and announced the 9 programs for practical cooperation, including providing another 1 billion doses of vaccines to Africa. This has been warmly welcomed by Africa. China will work with South Africa to take the full implementation of the outcomes of the FOCAC conference as an opportunity to advance China-Africa cooperation in trade, investment, grain development, and digital economy, jointly build an even closer China-Africa community with a shared future in the new era, and work with the international cooperative partners to help Africa defeat the virus as soon as possible, realize economic recovery and sustainable development.
我们也请罗卡斯副主席讲话。
Honorable Deputy Chair, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me begin to say, before I respond or say something about the few issues that was highlighted by Vice Chairman. Also, as a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, let me acknowledge the fact that we have sound party-to-party relations, and we really appreciate the cooperation that exists between our party and the Chinese Communist Party, and the way we have been able to do further development and build together on what we want to achieve as parties for our people. Having said that, I agree that there is still a lot that can be done between the two countries, and particularly within the agreements that are existing. Since 2020, our president has been having the investment conference, and the Chinese the Chinese government in particular, or the country, have played a very significant role in ensuring that this foreign direct investment from the business people, and also to assist us with economic development in certain areas of our economy. But in particularly, I think I want to agree that the relationship between our two countries have been cemented in the collective approach to COVID-19 and how we have been assisting one another to fight the pandemic. But also from the side of Parliament, because there is an agreement between the National Assembly and the NCPCC that is existing, and there is also that kind of agreement that is there is the one that ensuring that we have a proper oversight over the relationship that is there between South Africa and the Chinese people. So as parliamentarians, we actually support the kind of actions and the kind of programs that are existing between our two governments. I must also mention that last year on the sidelines of the IPU conference, we had a BRICS engagement with the BRICS countries, and we could actually discuss other issues, particularly on the social front that is also existing. Because while government is trying to make sure that the economic engagement and other bilateral programs are progressing, we also have the responsibility to make sure that we address through our economic development the social issues that is there. And in that BRICS engagement, we could discuss issues like trade relations that are existing, but also how parliaments can advance in ensuring that governments address the social needs of our people. And that is why I really, really like the issue of saying that we want to improve on the hope and confidence that is there within the member parties of the BRICS formation, and that we also want to contribute as South Africa. And I think our president have been going out on a drive to make sure that there is more investment in the South African and the African economy, particularly the time that the president was chairing the AU. He was one of the people that had a very determined drive to make sure that we engage Africa and we develop Africa more. And in that, I want to the focus, and I should say in that, we have seen the commitment of the Chinese people and the Chinese government to make sure that they assist Africa, South Africa, and African countries to make sure that we really see better trade relations, better bilateral engagement, but also that we improve the Sino-Africa relations. And that is why today's engagement is even one of the areas where we, as the legislative sector, can see more to it, that we enhance our oversight responsibility, that we enhance our role to make sure that there is a solid relationship built between us and our partners, in particularly the Chinese people, that is the ones that is always having our interests at heart by making sure that wherever they can assist, like you have already mentioned, the assistance that have been there in the COVID time of the COVID-19, but also the commitment to make sure that South Africa and Africa are able to develop their own vaccines, to make sure that there is homegrown kind of solution to the issues that is definitely existing, particularly in South Africa and on the African continent. We appreciate the friendship of the Chinese people, because then I want to quote Mandela when he said to other countries, your friends are not our friends, and allow us to choose our own friends. And up until this moment, we are standing with our friends, of which the Chinese people is a very important friend to South Africa as a country. So we really want to appreciate commitment that we can see from you as our partners, as those people that have got our interest at heart. We want to appreciate that. And we also want to make sure, and we want to say, since the dawn of democracy, you have never changed in the way you approach us, in your support, and in the way that you feel that we have a common interest to make sure that we develop our people and that we serve the interests of our people, but also that we bring prosperity to our people by developing a sound economy that will respond to the needs of our people. And that, I must say that China is not only a partner, but you are also a friend, and you are also having comradely relationships with us. And in that, we really do appreciate that we can have you as our friend and our friend.
副主席先生，我呢，首先呢，作为议会的代表，我还想首先先感谢一下我们两个党之间，中国共产党和非国大之间，开展的合作，我们两党的关系是非常的密切的，我们也是致力于推动我们两国人民的发展，推动国家的发展，造福于我们的人民。我也同意您刚才提到的几点，一个呢是关于投资，我们国家也是召开了投资大会，是非常在这个投资大会上呢，中国政府中方都发挥了非常重要的作用，支持增加对南非进行直接投资，投资于我们经济发展的多领域。我也同意您说的，我们两国的关系在抗击疫情的过程中得到了进一步的巩固，我们两国守望相助。那么我们议会也是有一个共识，就是要发展对中国的关系。同时，作为议会，我们还有责任，就是要监督政府发展与各国的关系，要履行我们的监督职责。作为议员，我非常的支持现在我们政府两国政府之间的各个合作的项目和合作举措。去年我们也是金砖国家也是有过会面，讨论的议题其中有一项就是关于发展我们的社会领域的关切。我们两国呢不仅是在经济领域开展合作，有一系列的项目，同时我们的经济发展也要助力解决社会的一些问题，社会问题。所以呢，我们两国议员。我们议会也是要确保政府之间开展的这些合作项目能够帮助解决人民的关切，解决社会的需求。同时呢，我们也是希望金砖国家之间可以进一步的提升应对疫情的信心和希望。我们作为南非方面呢，也希望能够为金砖机制做出更大的贡献。我国的总统拉马福萨总统，他也是一直要确保中国对非洲各国对非洲包括南非在内的非洲各国增加投资，特别是他作为非盟主席期间呢，也是在推动对非的投资。他是一直决心要致力于推动非洲的发展。我们非常乐于看到中国人民和中国政府对于南非以及非洲各国的这种合作和帮助，在投资等各个领域不断的加强双边的关系。作为议会，我们就是要确保自己也能够行使对政府的这种监督的职责，确保我们国家可以特别是包括与中国这样一个重要的合作伙伴在内的各国的伙伴关系都能够得到进一步的巩固与发展。同时呢，希望我们的合作伙伴们可以帮助南非真正的发展应对疫情，同时呢，开发出来我们自己的疫苗，在南非开发自己的疫苗，更好的、更全面的应对疫情。我们非常的感谢中国对于我们发展与我们的关系对我们提供的支持。我也想引用我们曼德拉先生曾经说过，我们的朋友为我们带来的友谊是多么的重要。那么中国呢，就是我们非洲一位非常重要的朋友。我非常感谢中方作为我们的合作伙伴所做出的努力。我们也希望在合作中能够继续的考虑到南非的我们的利益。同时中国在与我们打交道的时候，从来都没有改变过自己的这种从来都没有改变过与我们合作与我们发展关 关系的这种决心。我们呢，也是希望能够共同的推动两国人民的发展，推动两国的利益，同时为两国的人民带来繁荣。这也是符合我们双方利益的。中方呢，不仅是我们的伙伴，也是我们的朋友，我们之间有同志一般的感情，我们非常感谢能够有中方这样一个朋友。
我们也都共同觉得民主啊是全人类的共同价值，因为作为南非和中国，我们这两个大的一个政治组织，在推进民主这方面都做出了积极的努力。世界各国都有着自己的历史文化和国情啊，实现民主的方式呢，也不可能千篇一律。所以实践证明，中国的全过程人民民主实现了过程民主和成果民主、程序民主和实质民主、直接民主和间接民主、人民民主和国家意志相统一，是全链条、全方位、全覆盖的民主，也是最广泛、最真实、最管用的社会主义民主。这些呢，都得到了全国人民的衷心拥护和支持。
Honorable Vice Chair, democracy is a common value of humanity. China and South Africa has done a lot to promote democracy. As countries differ in history, culture, national condition, it is impossible to have one and only form of democracy. Practices have proven that China's whole process democracy integrates process-oriented democracy with results-oriented democracy, procedural democracy with substantive democracy, direct democracy with indirect democracy, and people's democracy with the will of the state. It is a model of socialist democracy that covers all aspects of the democratic process and all sectors of society. It is a true democracy that works and that has won the wholehearted endorsement and support from the Chinese people.
因为有这样的一个机会啊，我也想在这里头简要的介绍一下子中国的民主的架构啊。在中国的国家治理架构中啊，中国共产党是最高的政治领导力量，人民代表大会呢是立法机构，政府是行政机构，政协是专门协商机构。上个月我们成功的召开了13届全国人大的5次会议和13届全国政协的第5次会议。那么这两会期间，人大代表和政协委员齐聚北京，围绕关系国计民生的重大问题广泛的议政建言，这是中国全过程的人民民主的具体实践。这一届也就是第13届全国政协，和过去的历届政协一样，由来自中国共产党和8个民主党派、各人民团体、56个民族、5大宗教等各方面代表人士组成。委员呢一共有2100多个啊，分属34个界别，非中共人士在这里头占1半以上，也就是占60%。在政协的平台上，各党派团体、各族各界的代表人士都可以充分的发表意见，帮助党和政府完善决策、改进工作，对党和政府各部门的工作进行监督。执政的中国共产党深入细致地说明政策主张，增进各方面对党和政府的重大决策部署的共识，充分调动一切可以调动的积极因素，广泛地团结一切可以团结的力量，朝着共同奋斗的目标前进。
Honorable Deputy Chair, I also wish to take today's opportunity to briefly talk about China's national governance structure. The CPC is the highest leading political force, the People's Congress is the legislative body, and the government is the administrative body, while the CPPCC is the special consultative body. Last month, we successfully held the 5th plenary sessions of the 13th National People's Congress, NPC, and the 13th CPPCC, or the 2 sessions for short. During the 2 sessions, the NPC deputies and the CPPCC members gathered in Beijing to make extensive policy recommendations and suggestions on major issues concerning China's development and people's well-being. This is an example of China's whole process democracy. The current CPPCC is composed of representatives from the CPC and other political parties, people's groups, 56 ethnic groups, and 5 major religions. It has more than 2,100 members from 34 sectors, among which 60% are not CPC members. On the CPPCC platform, political parties, people's groups, representatives from all ethnic groups and sectors can fully express their opinions, help the CPC and the government to make better decisions and improve their work. They oversight the work of all departments of the CPC and the government. The CPC can also elaborate on its policy measures, build consensus on major decisions made by it and by the government, mobilize all positive factors, unite all forces that can be united to work toward the same goal.
也正是中国同南非有很多共同之处，所以两国的合作一直非常融洽。中国的全国政协和南非省务院在各自的国家政治生活当中也都发挥着十分重要的作用那么2002年中国全国政协在接待了南非省务院主席率领的访华团代表团来中国访问以后，这就是一个良好的开端。两个组织建立联系并广泛的开展交流合作。中国全国政协也于2019年6月专门成立了中非友好小组，积极开展同包括南非在内的非洲驻华使节、青年议员、在华青年等友好往来。我们愿意同贵方进一步加强沟通，开展治国理政的经验交流，推动双边的互利合作，为两国关系的不断迈进做出新的贡献下面请这个卢卡斯副主席也讲话。
Honorable Chairperson, China and South Africa had sound cooperation in many areas, and the CPPCC and the National Council of Provinces both play a critical role in the political life of our respective countries. In 2002, the CPPCC National Committee received a delegation led by the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces to China. That visit marked the beginning of our extensive cooperation and exchanges. The CPPCC set up the China-Africa Friendship Group in June 2019 to carry out friendly exchanges with diplomatic envoys, young legislators, young people in China from South Africa and other African countries. We would like to further enhance communication, share experience on national governance, advance mutually beneficial bilateral cooperation, and make new contribution to the continued development of China-South Africa relations. Now, Honorable Chairperson, would you like to take the floor?
Thank you very much to Vice Chairman Bashir. As he has set out the governance structures of the Chinese people, we also in South Africa as Parliament, we've got the two houses, which is the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And the National Assembly already started since 2006 having this relationship with the CPCCC. And that is the relationship that we hope to build on. That is the relationship that we hope to ensure that Parliament in its totality works together with CPCCC for the very important role that we have to make sure that our government respond to the needs of our people, to make sure that our government respond to the needs of the country, but also on a multilateral and on a bilateral level. There is engagement, a common engagement and a common understanding of development of our emerging economies and the emerging markets. And I think as Parliament, we are part of the China-Africa Friendship Group, and also our provincial legislatures have some of the provinces that have set up friendship with some of the Chinese provincial government, so that there is this kind of multilateral and bilateral engagement where South Africa in its totality work together with the people of China to make sure that to make sure that we build better relations, but also that we cement, like I like the word that was used by the Vice Chairman when he said that we need to cement our relations as, and I agree that we have got a responsibility to make sure that we are accountable to everyone. The multi-party system that is existing doesn't necessarily take away from the fact that we are serving the same constituents. And in many instances, I think the Chinese system is very successful in making sure that all the parties that is part and parcel of the CPCCC understand the role that they have to play to make sure that the party as well as the NPC is able to respond to the needs of our people. And that is why I'm saying it is important that within the structures that are existing, because we've got a common objective, we build together and we get to a point where we can actually deliver to our people in the way that is conducive and in the way that is comprehensive, because we all of us have got a responsibility to build a comprehensive response system to the needs of the people, but also to make sure that within our government, we address all the different areas in the economy, in the development, and to make sure that the bilateral engagement and the relationships is like, I once again want to use the word of cemented, because I really feel that there is showing that there is a strong relationship that is being built between our two countries, but also that we, in the processes that we follow, in the procedures that we follow, but we also have to respond to the social needs, and there is where there is always a need to make sure that we understand the socialist part of our delivery, of our responsibility, so that we respond to the social needs of our people, so that we address the challenges that are existing in South Africa. We have identified them, that we still have unemployment, we still have poverty, we still have inequality. And that is the kind of social areas that we need to address. And we can only advance to that stage to address that specific areas with the assistance of our friends like the Chinese. So I really want to express appreciation for the fact that in our engagement with the Vice Chairman, we can see there is a clear understanding as to what we want to achieve with the relationships that we've been building, friendship relationships, party-to-party relationships, but also economic and other multilateral and bilateral relations that is existing between the two peoples.
感谢您给我介绍了中国的治理架构。我们呢在南非也是两院的结构，我们有一个国民议会，还有就是我们的省务院。我们的这个两院呢都与政协开展了良好的合作，所以我们有一个非常坚实的合作基础。政协也是发挥了非常重要的作用，确保政府能够切实的回应人民和国家发展的需求。我们在多边和双边的层面都开展了合作，那么我们还要继续的推动这样的合作，确保能够有更多的能够进一步的推动新兴经济体、新兴市场之间的合作以及相互理解。我也是中国非洲友好小组的成员，那么我呢也了解到中国的南非的许多省份与中国的省份也建立了友好省市的这种关系。南非与中国在双多边领域的合作开展的都非常好，我也非常喜欢您刚才用到的一个词，您用的就是不断的得到巩固的这个词，我非常的喜欢。那么我觉得这也证明了我们关系非常坚实的基础，证实了我们的关系非常的强劲。同时呢，我们也要为我们也要为国家这么一个多党系统呢，也要为各方都负责。那么中国的体制在各个方面都证明了是非常成功的。比如说像政协呢，就非常好的发挥了自己的作用，能够确保中国共产党能够确保人民代表大会都能够切实的回应人民的需求。那么我们呢，还是我们都是有共同的发展目标。我们到现在这个阶段呢，就应当确保我们的现在这么好的体系，能够帮助我们切实的帮助人民实现自己的发展诉求。我们在政府的内部也应当进一步的推动在经济发展以及发展与各国关系等方面政府都能够有所作为。同时呢，我还是要再次强调一下，虽然我们在按程序就是正常的推动我们的关系，同时非常重要的一点就是要注重社会的需求，我们是负有社会的责任的，所以呢，我们要了解我们国家面临的挑战，比如说南非，我们面临的有贫困问题，有不平等的问题，这些都是社会层面的问题。那么我们下一阶段继续的发展，就需要我们中方以及我们其他的朋友的帮助我们解决这个可能在社会层面面临的问题。那么我非常的感谢您刚才的讲话，我也从您的发言中感觉到您非常的了解我们两国关系发展的目标。我们也希望能够进一步推动我们人文、经济以及双多边各领域的发展，实现我们的共同目标。
我感觉呢，我们今天谈的都非常好啊。这次的友好视频呢，加深了我们相互的了解，也增进了友谊。我也了解到副主席女士2003年曾经来华进行游学啊，那么也欢迎你在整个的世界疫情好转以后啊，再次访问中国，再看一看中国20年后的这个变化，所以我们也都非常期待在北京同你再次见面。
Honorable Deputy Chair, we had a good discussion today, which deepened understanding and boosted friendship. I learned that Madam Deputy Chairperson visited China in 2003. When the COVID situation gets better, I welcome you to China again to see the changes that have taken place in China in 2 decades. I look forward to meeting you in Beijing.
Thank you very much. Is the chairman speaking? Can I respond?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
No, thank you very much. I think since 2003 to 2018, I've been to China on several occasions. And I want to express my appreciation for the invitation. We will definitely make sure that we lead a delegation with Honorable Downward to China as soon as the COVID situation improves. We really appreciate the opportunity that we had this morning, to engage with the Vice Chairman and his delegation. And we really appreciate the fact that we know that the Chinese people remain our friends and our comrades in all circumstances. So for us as the NCOP, according to my understanding, it is the first engagement with the NCOP Direct, because in the past, all the engagement was with the National Assembly. So as the NCOP, we are particularly honored. And we hope that this link that and this engagement that started today will bear fruit in the future for all of us. Thank you very much. Xie xie.
非常感谢，确实是我在03年到18年期间也是访华，感谢中方的邀请，我当时也是率领着南非代表团，我也期待着在疫情好转以后呢，能够再次有机会访华，也非常感谢今天我们会面的机会，我想再次强调的就是中国人民是我们的朋友加同志，非常感谢副主席先生，也非常感谢中方代表团。那么此前呢，可能政协更多的是与我们的国民议会进行交往，我们今天的会面可能是第一次与省务院和政协之间的交往，所以我们省务院感觉到特别的荣幸，希望今天可以是我们两个机构交往的一个开端，我们今后继续的推动省务院还有政协之间的交流，谢谢。
好，谢谢卢卡斯副主席，希望我们将来能有机会在中国见面。
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. I hope that we will have opportunity to meet in China.
好，谢谢。
Thank you.
Definitely.
谢谢。